My strategy is to help people understand cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and Litecoin specifically. I post a lot about Bitcoin, and a lot of people would tell me to talk more about Litecoin because I created Litecoin. But I care more about just cryptocurrency in general. So my point is to help people understand the space. Today, it's mostly just a new asset class for investment. So people are really just betting on the value increasing. So putting money in crypto like they put money in gold and stocks. And it's definitely performing a lot better than all the other asset classes out there. In the future, crypto will actually be used as a form of payment, but we're not seeing much of that today. The biggest misconception would be that you have to buy one whole Bitcoin or one whole Litecoin. Most people, when they get into this, they see Bitcoin at $10,000, they're like, I can't afford to buy one whole Bitcoin. So they actually buy Litecoin because they can afford to, even though they don't realize they can actually buy a quarter or a tenth of a Bitcoin or even less. Philosophy towards scaling, for Bitcoin specifically, that Bitcoin needs to scale, but it needs to keep its decentralization and uncensorability at utmost important. So yes, you can just increase the block size like as much as you want and it will scale, but you will lose decentralization. When we talk about Bitcoin scaling, I think we always have to keep in mind that it's important to scale, but it's also important to make sure that we preserve the most valuable aspect of Bitcoin. Whereas my view towards Litecoin is Bitcoin, being the king of crypto, will need to be the most decentralized and uncensorable. But Litecoin can aim for a different aspect of decentralization versus scaling. So Litecoin already has 4 times the effective block size than Bitcoin. So it's less secure, it's less decentralized, but that's fine for people making smaller payments. Litecoin, I created it to be complementary to Bitcoin. So a lot of what I focus on is to help make Bitcoin and Litecoin succeed. Whereas a lot of the other cryptos are kind of fighting against Bitcoin and trying to overtake Bitcoin. I don't care too much about the price of Bitcoin and Litecoin in the short term. I think in the long term, they will just grow. In terms of price, Litecoin definitely had a better year. Bitcoin went up about 10x, Litecoin has gone up about 25 times. But I think Bitcoin has had a tremendous year in terms of adopting SegWit and growing and getting into mainstream media. SegWit activating definitely helped. I think it's the best way to scale Bitcoin today. And on top of that, we have the CME group announcing Bitcoin futures, and CBOE and NASDAQ also announcing Bitcoin futures. I think this will open up Bitcoin to institutional investors and basically giving a lot more people the ability to buy and hold Bitcoin. I get a lot of investment advice requests from ICOs. A lot of them just want to kind of put my name in their advisor list to help promote it. I tend to stay away from advising ICOs because I don't want them to abuse my name. And I also think that most of the ICOs are just there to get rich and less about the technology. It's very easy for developers to get enticed to try to release their own ICO or release their own fork and make a lot of money. So it's hard to find really serious developers that want to work on improving the blockchain technology and care more about the work, the technology, rather than making money. There are 2, I think. One is if the crypto is broken. If something like quantum computing comes out and really breaks all of crypto where every single address can be spent by anyone, I think this threat is pretty small because we'll always be able to, I believe we'll be able to find crypto that can be quantum resistant where we can fix it. And if we can't, then all of finance is pretty much broken today. The second threat would be if all the governments come together and every single one of them bans crypto and say this is used for drugs and terrorism and it's illegal, then it will be hard for crypto to be of any value because it can't be used in legitimate ways. It will still be around for like underground currency, but it won't be as strong as it is today. And I think that's pretty slim of a chance of that happening. I don't think governments fully understand cryptocurrency. They think of it as
a means for like a speculative investment. They don't realize the potential for cryptocurrency to really become money, and it's better form of money than fiat currency. I think it's a matter of time before countries issue their own crypto. So it'll be crypto backed by fiat. It won't be the same as Bitcoin and Litecoin, so they can still print as many of their own crypto as they want, and it will interface with Bitcoin, Litecoin in via atomic swaps and technologies like that. So it'll be very cool, but people will still want to hold Bitcoin and Litecoin because it has limited supplies and it's not controlled by a central government. I envision that people wouldn't even know what's powering their use of money. So whether it be Bitcoin or Litecoin, they would just send value online or even in person, and underlying it could be Bitcoin, Litecoin, or a combination thereof. I think the biggest mistake most people will tell you is spending Bitcoin too early or selling Bitcoin too early. I mean, I've known about Bitcoin since it was $2, so I've definitely not bought enough, and I've definitely sold at the wrong time or spent them at the wrong time. I remember using Bitcoin to buy Amazon gift certificates when they were $5, so I spent like 10 Bitcoins to buy $50 of gift certificate. Nowadays, if you think about it, that was a really bad decision.